Happy Tuesday. Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World. And on today's episode, we're going to be bringing you our Super Bowl 57 preview and predictions presented by Prime Sports World. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And if you do happen to miss us live, I have shared the link into all of our streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. So you do happen to miss us live, you can watch us on all of the streaming platforms. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point Huffman. My co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins. From the CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera. And then from the Daily Blitz blog, Mr. Christian Simpson himself in the flesh, joining here on the podcast. Welcome into the show, gentlemen. Super Bowl 57, only 5 days away from the most hyped game of the year against the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. But yeah, welcome to the show. How are you guys all doing? Let's go. We haven't seen some of you guys on the show in a minute.
I'm here. I'm good. And you?
Hey, TJ, this is a must-win game.
Of course.
Man, I swear, dude.
Oh my gosh, I'm done. Okay, we're done.
That question for real though, like, what is happening in that reporter's head when he's like asking that question? Like, what is the mindset there?
I don't know. Stupidity.
Yeah, it's almost as bad as like going to a dark meditation or.
Oh, we're going to a dark meditation retreat for 3 days off of
whatever Aaron Rodgers is about to be up to. We'll talk about Aaron Rodgers here in the future show. We're doing a double dose of Prime Sports World actually today. We're doing the Super Bowl preview, and then we're going to talk about the team that most recently won the Vince Lombardi Trophy. The Los Angeles Rams preview their offseason as their season did not go particularly well. Let's talk about the matchup here a little bit. Kansas City Chiefs. There's their stats there on the left side, going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Their stats there on the right side. Both these teams prolific on offense. The last time these two teams played was in 2021. Christian, you're usually good at knowing this. Do you remember who won that game in 2021?
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Do you remember the score?
Nah, I'm not going that far. But
Kansas City won that game 42-30 in 2021. October. Yeah, this is I think this might have been Jalen Hurts' first couple games as a pro, maybe potentially in 2021, or I don't really remember. But yeah, so the last time they played these the offensive rankings, Kansas City first on offense, they're second on offense on Eagles, second on offense. The defense, Eagles third, Kansas City Chiefs 12th, first in passing for the Chiefs, 20th in rushing, 9th and 5th respectively for the Philadelphia Eagles. Those are stats. Let's talk about the matchups a little bit. Head coach Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, quarterback Jared McKinnon, running back Travis Kelce, tight end Chris Jones, best defensive player on the Kansas City Chiefs. Of all the stats here, what do you think is the most important stat of the stats that we're just looking at right now?
For Kansas City, it's I say it's the rushing attempt. I mean, they're not a team that primarily runs the ball a lot, but if the opportunity is presented to them, they'll do it. And I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is done for. He's not reliable. He can't stay healthy.
Did get activated off the IR today. Actually,
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if that means anything. If he's actually going to play, be serviceable here in this game. But I know he got activated, so he could potentially be someone who plays in this game for them.
Yeah, but I think you got to stick with who's been the most consistent for you at the position, and that's been Isaiah Pacheco. He's cut from the Philip Lindsay clock. Not really the fastest, but he's a physical downhill runner, wants to lower that shoulder, can run through people, and he initiates contact. He doesn't wait for it to come to him, bursts through the tackles. And if you notice, anytime teams play the Chiefs, they're not loading up that box. So that kind of leaves lanes wide open for the running game because they're so focused on doing what? Trying to limit Patrick Mahomes.
I think actually what jumps out at me is actually the Kansas City Chiefs rushing yards. The fact that they ran, for 1,900 rushing yards was actually pretty surprising for me for a team that kind of you expect to be a pass-happy offense. 1,900 yards, pretty impressive. On the Eagles side, Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Aaron Donald. That's a tackle. I got to fix that. But yeah,
I was looking at that like, dude, When did Aaron Donald get switched over to the Philadelphia
Man,
Eagles, man?
think crazy things happen in the Super Bowl. You just let new plays,
man,
whoever.
seriously.
Let's talk about advantage. Let's talk about head coach. Andy Reid versus Nick Sirianni. Who's got the head advantage when it comes to the head coaching position?
Come on, man.
It's the guy that's got the ring.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Come on. It's the guy that's got the ring. It's the guy that took this franchise.
Ask me that question, David.
Go ahead, Christian.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay. Instead of giving them one, it's the guy that took this Eagles team to how many NFC championship games and one Super Bowl? I think 6, and then one Super Bowl, and then won a Super Bowl in Kansas City. And this is the fourth trip? The third trip in 5 years.
Third trip in 5 years.
To the AFC, to the Super Bowl. And how many AFC championships did Andy Reid take?
5 straight.
Five straight.
Five straight.
That's a check mark, baby.
That's Big Red. That's Big Red.
And we gonna get him. We ain't gonna get him McDonald's.
Y'all be
gonna get him McDonald's or Burger King.
Y'all
we gonna get him a nice little In-N-Out burger.
If anything, he should be getting some Wendy's, man.
He ain't getting no Wendy's. He ain't getting no Wendy's. We getting bougie. We getting a little bougie. That we gonna get him a In-N-Out burger or something. I don't know.
How would you do that?
Fancy. We're getting fancy over here in Prime Sports.
In-N-Out burgers and all that good. I was just saying. Sorry, my LA folks.
Correction. That's cheeseburger Andy.
It's a cheeseburger, Andy.
And yeah, I probably agree with you. Andy Reid probably has the advantage. Let's talk about quarterback position. Jalen Hurts is having an excellent season, but obviously Patrick Mahomes, we don't really know what he's going to look like coming off that high ankle sprain. He's obviously got 2 more weeks to recover from it. If we had to pick, who do you think who has the advantage here at the quarterback position between Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts?
In the words of the legend T.J. Hopkins, Patrick Mahomes is him. Okay, he's him. HIM with 4 more M's at the end. Him. I'll go Kansas City. Because look, Patrick Mahomes is such a difference maker. I mean, he moves the needle. And to be honest with you, he looked pretty good in that AFC title game against Cincinnati. I think you saw mental toughness on display right there from Patrick Mahomes.
But I think he's going to face a lot more quarterback pressure after him against the Philadelphia
definitely,
Eagles
because
team
that's the thing. Right, he definitely will, but I'm going to give the edge to the guy that's been here, just like head coach. I'm giving it to Kansas City. Like, Patrick Mahomes is just he's the difference maker, plain and simple. He moves the needle, he does this, he does that, and they're not here without him, and he's more than likely going to win his second MVP on Thursday.
It's true, probably. Let's go to one that's actually a little bit closer. Let's talk about offensive weapons on both sides of the ball. Kansas City, they got Isaiah Pacheco, Juju Smith-Schuster, MVS, Kadarius Toney, and obviously Travis Kelce, probably the GOAT tight end, Jerick McKinnon. And then on the Philadelphia side of this, you got Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, and they got their own good tight end, Dallas Goedert. So if you had to pick the offensive weapons between these two teams, I didn't even mention Kenneth Gainwell, who's a good running back as well. Just the offensive weapons between these two teams. Who do you give the edge to? I'm
giving it to the Philadelphia Eagles because of the depth that they have. Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, like you just listed. I look at the rotation of running backs that they have, but the guy that really sets everything apart for them is A.J. Brown. He brings depth, he brings swagger, he brings confidence, and David, I've been saying this all year. His impact is just so similar to what Terrell Owens did in 2004. Just that tough receiver that can make those catches in traffic, can stretch the field vertically. And, I mean, he became the heart and soul of this Eagles football team.
TJ.
CBS listed they top 25 players, and Jerick McKinnon was the first running back off the board, right? Like, when you look at all the running backs that's going to play in this game, Jerick McKinnon was the first running back, the highest ranked running back at that. And it's mostly because the Eagles have 3 different dudes for 3 different purposes, right? Like, Miles Sanders is probably like they heavy hitter. Boston Scott's their receiving back. Kenneth Gainwell is they little lightning guy, they fast guy. Jerick McKinnon, Right. Jared McKinnon can do all of that, and he's a better pass blocker than all of them.
It's
Really.
true. But when you have an offensive line as good as Philadelphia, you don't need your running backs to pass block that much.
No, you don't. But we already know like mobile quarterbacks tend to get sacked more because they're trying to extend the play and all that good stuff. I would have to give it to the Eagles simply because their receiving core, like AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, is better than Juju Smith-Schuster and
MVS or
than
Kadarius Toney.
VS. Right, like that. Like Travis Kelce is, come on, man. Like they got that. Like if it was to go down to like the best tight end, yeah, Chiefs got that one. Not even close.
Just put a
But
jacket on him already.
right, put the jacket on him already. But yeah, it's like offensive weapons. Yeah, you got to give it to the Eagles just because. I think just because of the AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, right? Yeah, just because of that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with that. And that's exactly where I was going. I just think wide receiver core, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert is a top 5 tight end in the league, right? Travis Kelce's number 1. Dallas Goedert's top 5. And then
I give him 10.
You said
Five.
what?
It's 5-2-10. He's for sure in the top.
Top
10
somewhere. Like top 7.
I mean,
on a given week, you could be a top 5 guy.
All of those 5 through 10 tight ends are kind of fluid. I mean, they're all kind of the same.
Right.
But he is for sure up there in that conversation.
Yeah, when I look at both running backs, I got I'm leaning Miles Sanders over Joe Pacheco. Definitely Jerick McKinnon over Boston Scott. So that's kind of even right there. And then look at the tight end Trip Kelsey over him. But yeah, the wide receivers really stand out. There's not really a wide receiver if they decide, in which the Eagles should do in this game, double team the hell out of Travis Kelsey. MVS, we've seen him have one game and 4 duds. Juju Smith-Schuster, we've seen him last couple. This year he's a little bit of a difference, but the last couple years been inconsistent. McCole Hardman injured. Who else is their guy? Sky Moore, rookie, inconsistent. Godly, give me another wide receiver.
Justin Watson's on this team too.
Justin
Ross
Watson
is on this team.
Come on,
Kadarius Toney.
I gotta give Kadarius Toney injured.
Got banged up in that game against Cincinnati. May not play in this game.
Yeah, so I'm going to give the offensive
and Mecole Hardman's on IR.
Yeah,
and we're gonna give this offensive weapons to the Eagles on my end.
Moving on, I'm also going to roll with the Philadelphia Eagles when it comes to the offensive weapons. Let's talk about the offensive line. The Kansas City Chiefs, they got Orlando Brown Jr. at left tackle, Joe Thuney at left guard, Creed Humphrey at center, Trey Smith at right guard, and then Andrew Wiley at right tackle. Philadelphia Eagles, Jordan Mailata, left tackle, Landon Dickerson, left guard, Jason Kelsey at center, Isaiah, Samala,
Pro Bowl,
right guard, and Lane Johnson playing with that torn groin at right tackle. If you had to give an advantage to the offensive line, I'll let Izzy go first since you went last on the last one.
Yeah, no, I mean the Philadelphia Eagles, man, all those guys are Pro Bowlers all across that line. Some of them all pro. When I look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they're more built for pass protection. When I look at the Eagles, they're just well balanced in general. I mean, one of the best running teams in the league. They can pass protect as well. They get nasty. They get physical in the red zone. Obviously, the quarterback sneak with Jalen Hurts is damn near unstoppable, damn near. Except we did see a little chink in it against the 49ers, but not many people are rolling out that 49ers defensive line, right?
Yeah.
But they still got the first down. So that was the first time I ever saw like the Eagles where I was like, oh, whoa, there was a wall there, But that's going to happen against the 49ers. So, yeah, I'm going to go get the advantage to the offensive line to the Philadelphia Eagles in this one.
TJ.
Yeah. I mean, like how many times was Jalen Hurts sacked this year?
I'll give that number here in a second.
Not that many, honestly. But at the same time, Pat Mahomes just showed you, like, hey, if I have not even a good offensive line, if I have an adequate offensive line, look what I can do for you. Keep in mind,
38 times this season. 38.
That's a lot. That's actually a lot. Because again, mobile quarterbacks tend to get sacked more. Yeah, but Pat Mahomes just showed, like last time Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl, he was running for his life. Right?
Patrick Mahomes sacked 26 times. this season.
Pat Mahomes was running for his life the last time we saw him in the Super Bowl, mostly because he was playing with backups and backups to the backups. In that Super Bowl against the Buccaneers, right? Like they did the tracking. He damn near ran for 500 yards running backwards because he was running for his life. But because of their run game, the Eagles got to have the best offensive line. Like they run game is probably the best in the league.
Christian.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Eagles.
Yeah, I agree. It's the Philadelphia Eagles because they do everything on that line with such consistency. You see Jalen Hurts throw the ball from the pocket. They give him that clean pocket to throw from. Pressure's coming from the right. They work together so collectively as a unit, push everything away so Jalen's able to roll away from the pocket. And then look at what they did in the 2 playoff games. Obliterated the Giants' defensive line and really punched the San Francisco 49ers in the mouth. And what do I always talk about? Winning that line of scrimmage and establishing yourself at that line of scrimmage. And they do just that.
Let's swing in from I'm also going to roll with the Philadelphia Eagles when it comes to the offensive line. Swinging into the defensive side of the ball, let's talk about the defensive line on the Philadelphia Eagles side. They got Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, and Josh Sweat rolling out for the Philadelphia Eagles. Kansas City, not to be trifled with, they got George Karlaftis, Kalen Saunders, Chris Jones, and Frank Clark. Of those 4 guys, which defensive line do you think has the advantage as we go into the Super Bowl? Christian.
I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles because I look at the tandem of Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox. And Fletcher is a guy that can play, and he plays sideline to sideline. How many defensive linemen do you see playing sideline to sideline? You don't. He's consistent in getting after the football, pursues the ball carrier, gets after the quarterback, and when you apply pressure, it's not just all about sacking the quarterback. It's collapsing his pocket and pushing his pocket and forcing that offensive line coach to say, look, we got to zoom in and we got to circle in on that particular guy. And that's what Fletcher Cox does for this entire Eagles defense. He does a lot of the little things that you really don't see get impacted on the stat sheet. So I'm going with the Eagles for sure because they can attack you in so many different ways.
TJ.
This is defensive. The Chiefs.
Line.
The Chiefs' defensive front is not, like you said, they are not to be slept on. Just because you know, they some put some
like
respect
the
on
Eagles got all the big names, but like George Karlaftis was a really productive rookie this season.
And when you say they got when you say they got all the big names, like do they like?
I mean, Fletcher Cox, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, those are pretty household names in the NFL.
Are they better than Chris Jones?
No. I mean, Fletcher Cox might be. I mean, for his career.
But
today, Chris Jones is probably the best of those.
It's like when you say bigger name, right? Like Chris Jones is probably the best edge rusher in this game. Keep it 100.
He plays defensive tackle too. He's 15.5 sacks this season.
Keep it 100, right?
That's insane. That's pretty good, man.
Like this is a dude. Like you can line them up inside and out. Like that's So whoever's lined up across from Chris Jones, hey, you got your work cut out for you. All right, it is not going to be an easy day at the office. But
and these teams were 1 and 2 in sacks this season. Philadelphia with 70 sacks on the season. Kansas City Chiefs with 55.
Yeah, 70 sacks. What's that? The most since the most the 85 Bears or something like that.
They set a franchise record. They said they're a franchise record for sacks too.
They did.
That's a big disparity too. 70 to 55. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm going to Eagles. They got dogs all across that line. Even the backups are even.
Because like this is.
And
I didn't even mention the Dominican Sue, Linval Joseph, Jordan Davis, Quinn.
Jordan Davis, and Dominican Sue. Like those are the backups. Like in the interior defensive line, it's a luxury to have those guys.
Right, and it's what you want because like all those guys, they get one-on-one matchups. There's not one single dude that you can spare a double team for because it's like, damn, do I double Hassan? If I double Hassan Reddick, that leaves Fletcher Cox 1-on-1 with this player, and it's like, no, like, damn, I'm stuck. Like, everybody, you just gotta hope and pray everybody hold up on the hold up on their end. But the Eagles, like, if they get home, it can be ugly. It can't get ugly, and you still don't know how healthy. What's his name?
And I question,
that
you know, with the defensive line being that good, I question, you know, I know it's been 2 weeks. He's probably had some time to rest up, but how's the ankle feeling for Patrick Mahomes? Is he able to get away gingerly? You know, is he still going to be a little ginger on that ankle? That's a high ankle sprain. I'm sure he's probably 90% now, 2 weeks. I'll take a 90% high ankle sprain for Patrick Mahomes over anything.
Well,
but
hey, let's
going
be
against
honest.
that defensive line, you got to be he's going to have to be a little mobile in the pocket.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. 80% Pat Mahomes is better than 90% of this league, right? Like no, seriously, 80
quarterbacks definitely.
Pat Mahomes on a bum ankle is literally better than most of the quarterbacks in this league. Mm-hmm. Let's keep it 100. Right.
Moving off of the defensive line, let's on the Kansas City side. They got Willie Gay, Nick Bolton, Carlos Dunlap. On the Philadelphia side of this, they got Kaiser White, TJ Edwards, and Hassan Reddick, who wreaked havoc in that NFC Championship game. Izzy, advantage when it comes to linebackers.
I'm going Philadelphia, man. Hassan Reddick can wreak havoc. Who's the young boy that you just mentioned? I forget his name. Godly.
Kaiser White, TJ Edwards, Hassan Reddick.
TJ Edwards is the reason why Nakobe Dean ain't really playing. That's how good he's been this year.
He's got 99 solo tackles this season. That's tied for 7th in the NFL.
That's how good TJ Edwards has been. So I'm going to advantage Philadelphia Eagles on this one.
TJ.
It's the number one defense in the league, man. It's got to be the Eagles, right? And also, like, let's not act like the injury that Nakobe Dean had coming out of college isn't also why he's not been playing.
That's true. TJ Edwards has been playing lights out.
And I get that, but Nakobe Dean had first round draft pick status written all over him. Then he gets hurt, and he just drops in the draft, and like it's a tale old as time, right? Like we see it all the time. College player gets hurt, first round draft, like supposed to be a first round or a high draft pick, and then all of a sudden he just drops. Eddie Jackson's supposed to be a first round pick, breaks his ankle, falls all the way down to the 4th round. How does that happen? But yeah, it's the Eagles. Like who's the best linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Nick Bolton.
Nick Bolton, right? Not
Nick
close.
Bolton is probably the best player of those 6 players, potentially. Like, he's been incredible this season.
But it's like it's depth, right? Like it's the.
I mean, Nick Bolton had 108 solo tackles this season, tied for 2nd.
108
solo tackles
by himself.
And he goes sideline to sideline. I'm actually going to give the edge of the linebackers actually to the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Willie Gay is a really nice weak side linebacker. Carlos Dunlap, ageless vet. I'm actually going to go Chiefs.
Yeah, it's close, man. I'm telling David, it's close. You could go either way depending on what you like. I give the edge because I like what TJ Edwards brings, but I just give the edge because of Hassan Reddick, man. He's that dude, man. When he's coming off the edge, he's that dude. I don't know if Kansas City got a dynamic playmaker like him and out of those linebackers like Hassan Reddick in this game that can flip a game like this.
Yeah, you really can go either way because Kansas City's guys, they're tough, they're physical, they're relentless, and it starts with Nick Bolton at the middle, and I think he's going to be a star playing the position for years to come. He's excellent when it comes to stopping that run, but what really sets the Eagles apart, and this is what gives them the slight advantage, is number 7. Hassan Reddick. He was an absolute force in that NFC Championship game. There was no answer.
I mean, he knocked out 2 quarterbacks during that game. So
yeah.
Not funny, but I'm just saying, like he did.
Yeah, but I'm gonna give the slight edge to the Eagles. This one could really go either way.
Moving into the secondary for the Philadelphia Eagles, they got James Bradbury, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who led the NFL in interceptions, Reed Blankenship, and then Darius Big Play Slay. Josiah Scott is probably their nickel. Or Marcus Epps also plays a little bit at the strong safety. Kansas City side of this, they got Trent McDuffie, the rookie, Justin Reed, Juan Thornhill, and Javarius Sneed. Jalen Watson is their nickel.
Again,
Christian.
another. Go ahead, Christian.
I'm going Philly here because all those guys bring something to the table. It's nothing against Kansas City, but Darius Slay, when he wants, can shut down the side of the field. Gardner Johnson can pick up tight ends, and he's probably going to be seeing a lot of Travis Kelce in this one. James Bradbury, who I know off well and very well. Now, he's another guy that forces you that makes you hesitate to throw in his direction. Yeah, I definitely like the Eagles here. I just think it's the depth, and each of them brings something to the table. You can't really say that about Kansas City. Their secondary really took a hit after Tyrann Mathieu left. Like, Justin Reed is good, but he's no honey badger. L'Jarius Sneed is probably Kansas City's best cover corner. Jalen Watson's made a couple of nice picks and a couple of nice plays this year. I remember that pick he made against Justin Herbert way back, week 2. It took it to the house. That ended up being the difference maker against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, that Kansas City secondary, just like their defensive line, is not nothing to sneer over. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, the Eagles got the bigger names for sure. For sure, they got the bigger names, and they probably that whole iron sharpens iron mentality, because like they got to go up against AJ Brown and Darius Slay and Devontae Smith every day in practice. Like, that's, come on, man. Like, how do you not get better going up against that, right? But if this is one of those situations where, like, if the Eagles think they can just pick them apart because they don't think they got the playmakers, yeah, they're gonna be in for a rude awakening for sure. Like, I'm not finna, like, just because they got, like, the Eagles probably got the best two. They probably got the better two.
I don't think that's close.
Right? They got the, like, but it's not.
James Bradbury and Darius Slay might be the best combo of corners in the NFL this season.
Yeah, they probably got the best two, but other than that, I don't know. Like, I think nickel on down is pretty even.
Mm-hmm. Man, Kansas City, in the rotation a little bit, 2 rookies, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. Yeah.
And I think Brian Cook might be a rookie.
Brian Cook is a rookie. He's a rookie.
I get they rookies. I get it, but they
could ball though. They could ball.
They some damn good rookies.
They some good rookies. No, when it come down to it, like them in Seattle had like some of the most impact rookies, like as far as a group on defense, especially. I'm going with the veterans. I'm going with the guys, the household names on Philadelphia. But the 2 best corners, I mean, Darius Slay, James Bradbury. I mean, they've been, amazing this year. Number 1 defense for a reason. C.J. Gardner-Johnson back there in the back end. I gotta go Philadelphia, man. We've seen them lock guys up, week in and week out. But Kansas City, I've seen some teams eat on them. So I got to go give the advantage to the Philadelphia Eagles in this one.
Moving on from the secondary, let's talk about that special teams. On the Kansas City side of this, place kicker Jake Elliott. Brett Kern is their punter. This is the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry. Philadelphia Eagles. Jake Elliott, Brett Kern. Britton Convey is their punt returner. Boston Scott is their kick returner. Their long snapper is Rick Lovato. On the Kansas City Chiefs side of this, Harrison Butker is their place kicker. Tommy Townsend is their punter. Kadarius Toney is their punt returner, but it'd probably be Justin Watson since he's hurt. Isaiah Pacheco is their kick returner, and James Winchester is their long snapper. If you had to pick one of these special teams units, which do you prefer, Izzy?
I'm going Kansas City. Even though I know Harrison Bucker has had the hamstring injury a little bit.
Yeah, he hasn't
this
been
year.
the big-legged kicker that you expected out of him this season as he has been in the past seasons, and he has
Right.
missed more kicks this season than in the seasons before.
Right.
But
Right. But I if Kadarius Toney, can't really go as a punt returner, which Sky Moore and Justin Watson, are really good fill-ins. I know just Sky Moore have seen some kick return and punt return option action this year. On the Philly side, I just when it comes to Jake Elliott, I mean he's been pretty automatic, but I mean there's been times that punter there's been times Brent Kern, I haven't even seen him on the field because the offense has been so damn good. So
and they go for it. They go for it a lot on fourth down, right? Like so.
Yeah, he only punted it 10 times the entire season.
That's disrespectful.
I'm going Kansas City. I'm going Kansas City as the special teams in this one. I'm going Kansas City.
And it's not like it's not like Buddy was out there.
I just want to have this comparison right real quick. Brett Kern, right, played the same number of games, 10 punts this season. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Townsend, who punts for the Kansas City Chiefs, 53 punts this season.
How many?
53 punts.
53.
And the thing is that we're looking at some of those other guys, but when I look at like units, right? 53 points or 10 points, that means that punt return unit ain't that punting unit hasn't really been on the field a lot, as opposed to the Kansas City Chiefs punting unit who has been. So, if any team I think is going to break one in this game, it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs on the Philadelphia Eagles because that unit hasn't really been on the field and hasn't had opportunities as many times as the Kansas City Chiefs has had. So I got to go Kansas City on this one.
Yeah, they'll like Scott Moore if he plays. Is Scott Moore playing?
Yeah, he's active.
He
should be.
Yeah, he's playing.
I don't know what his role is exactly going to be because they don't use him as their regular kick returner.
He was the one he was the one that set up
that.
Correct.
Yeah, the big the play down the end.
That was him.
The punt returning, yes, he was, but he's not their regular punt returner. Yeah, he was only in there because Kadarius Toney got hurt.
Kadarius Toney was out. Yeah. And we don't know what his injury's looking like. So, but if Kadarius Toney can go, he's electric. Christian knows.
Yeah. I'm giving the special teams edge to the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Izzy pretty much took everything that I was gonna say, and I don't think he could have broken it down any better. Yeah, definitely Kansas City. I really don't have anything else to add on to it. He said everything for me.
TJ.
Well, I ain't got nothing to add. The minute Izzy said Kansas City, I was like, yeah.
I've also taken the Kansas City Chiefs. I know Harrison Buckner, 75% completion percentage on field goals this season, down a little bit from last season, and Jake Elliott 87%. But that unit in Kansas City, I think it's better. Let's talk about fan bases. So neither of these are Buffalo Bills fans where they're going to jump through tables, but the Kansas City Philadelphia Eagles. Pretty rowdy fan bases. One fan base boos Santa Claus.
Philadelphia, speak for yourself, okay? That's probably the most rowdiest fan base in the NFL.
So if you had to pick one of these fan bases, who has the advantage when it comes to the fan base? Philadelphia or Kansas City? Christian.
Really? You really gonna start with me? Really? Oh.
He don't like them Eagles, man.
Look. I gotta keep it professional. Yeah, I'll tell you guys a little quick story. The Eagles played the Giants on December 10th. Across from MetLife, where the Giants play, there's a mall. It's like the Mall of America on steroids, like HGH. Damn. Like for real. There's a beach in there. Yeah, I'm gonna bring you when you come out here, man. I'll bring all y'all.
That's a mall I gotta go to.
And I'm trying to tell you.
All right, but go ahead. My bad.
There were so many Eagles fans in there. I'm like, man, I had to go buy a pair of sunglasses. The green was really disturbing my eyes. But I gotta give it to the Eagles because these Eagles fans are passionate. They're a little disrespectful at times, but they booed Santa Claus and they talked about Mama McNabb. That's one thing we're not gonna do is talk about Mama McNabb. But anywho, I'll give it to the Eagles because I mean they follow their team so closely. They're passionate. I just hate that theme song, that little song they sing.
The Fly Eagles Fly.
Man,
The
look,
Jalen Word,
look,
the Jalen
look,
words. Jalen Hurts
look.
for sure didn't know the words
Listen,
too.
listen. I'll tell you this. I'll listen to Go Cubs, and everybody knows how I feel about Go Cubs Go. I'll listen to that before I listen to Fly Eagles Fly.
Hey, no disrespect on the podcast now. Come on.
Hey, for real.
Hey,
Like,
we're disrespectful on this podcast all the time. What are you
Jesus
talking
Christ.
about?
Right,
This
TJ. You know what? Since TJ
this
got a
podcast-
problem,
Talking about the
this
Go
TJ,
Cuz Go. Man, don't you ever.
Don't,
this
gee,
podcast was built on disrespect. Come on.
just because the Yankees ain't got a catchy song, don't mean you gotta hate on Nas, man. Like, come on, man. Like,
I know.
But yeah, the
Get that
Philadelphia
mess up
Eagles
outta
got the
here.
advantage here when it comes to the fan base.
do they? Do they really?
Yeah.
Do they?
TJ, you think the other? Come
No,
on,
when I look at teams that's gonna travel, I think Kansas City fans travel really freaking well.
so do the Eagles.
It's the Super Bowl. Everybody's gonna.
I
travel well.
I know. Both fan bases is gonna be there. I know.
Bro,
I know.
like, no.
Well, I
Shannon,
gotta.
I mean,
no,
there are people
Shannon,
there that don't even care about the team.
no, wait. Shannon Sharp told a story about how, like, when he was on the Broncos, they go to Kansas City. The crowd in Kansas City was so loud, John Elway had to look towards the ref because he couldn't get a snap off. Like, he couldn't, like, the refs had to step in and tell the crowd to be quiet so the play could get counted off. I ain't never heard of no Eagle fans being so loud the refs had to be like, please keep the noise to a respectable level so the play can get no. They, like, Shannon Sharp did share the video because folks didn't believe him and had players asking, like, yo, was this real? Yes, this is real. I was there. Kansas City fans, great. Kansas City fans, that fan base, I think, in my opinion, because of questions like this, don't get enough respect. Bro, like, it is hell going into that red kingdom that they like to call it. Like, it is, like, bro, it is hell. Like, I guarantee you, if you was to ask players today, hey, man, what's your least favorite place to play? Philly going to be up there for sure. I'm not taking that away from them. But I guarantee you teams hate going to Kansas City. They hate going, especially when Mahomes and that offense get the rolling. Oh, my God. It's over with.
I don't necessarily disagree with either of those takes. So I still going to go Philadelphia, but I think it is really close. We'll end up with see and kind of the way this all worked out. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs for most of our
and this is why the Super Bowl is like what you call it, play at a neutral site. There is no home field advantage, right? This is what makes it beautiful.
I mean, so when we talk about the way things kind of shook out, when we talk about the advantage, I mean, we all had Kansas City with the head coach and quarterback, special teams, and the fan base was kind of split. But the Philadelphia Eagles swept everything else. The offensive weapons, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, secondary. So we have to ask the question here, final question, who raises the Vince Lombardi trophy? And Christian, is it time?
David, you know what? I want all y'all in on this because this is the finale. I need all y'all.
Let's go.
1, 2. Oh my God.
My bad.
It's all good, play. 1, 2, 3.
Shameless plug
the finale, baby.
Let's go. Let's ride. Hopefully it
It's
goes
the
better
last
than Russell
shameless
Wilson.
plug of the year. What the hell are you talking about, David?
Okay, whatever. It's still shameless plug number 1.
Yeah, he still got the point across. David, you did what you had to. You understood the assignment.
Yeah.
And
haters over here.
look, you guys realize this is the first Super Bowl of number 1 seeds, I want to say, since the Broncos and the Panthers, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, the Patriots and the Eagles. My bad. 2017. I mean, Kansas City, they're a battle-tested group. You've seen it all year long. And let's not act like they haven't heard the rumblings. Ooh, the Raiders, they got Devontae Adams. The Chargers got Khalil Mack.
Tracy Jackson.
Right. Denver, they got Russell, new coach Wilson. Denver was a joke. The Raiders, forget about it. and the Chargers blew a 27-0 lead in the playoffs. You think I'm really gonna let that go? Um, and I kept telling people Kansas City will still win this division due to the simple fact of two things. One, they have the best player in the division, and two, they have the best coach in the division. That speaks volumes. Seriously, the Eagles. When I look at Philly, they can beat you in so many different ways. If they have to turn it into a shootout, they can do it. If they have to ugly the game up, what I mean by that is running the football. They can do it. They can beat you with defense. They just have a different variety of ways to really punch you in the mouth. Part one of my preview was Friday. I reveal who I have winning the game an hour before kickoff on Sunday on video. I'll be sure to send it to you guys. You guys will be the first to see it. I promise you.
And that's on dailyblitz.blog, so make sure you check out that content from Mr. Christian Simpson. TJ.
Well, you asked me a while ago, and I said for selfish reasons, I want the Eagles to win because of the quarterback situation, right? Jalen Hurts, not just because of what Justin Fields goes through here, and Jalen Hurts went through a similar thing, but Jalen Hurts, if he wins this, a new narrative is written, right? The whole narrative of you can't win as a mobile quarterback, that's gone. So like if Jalen Hurts and the Eagles win the Super Bowl, the narrative of run first quarterbacks can't lead you to a Super Bowl. Now they got to find something else. Now they got to find something else to say. Because if he does it, hey, what can you say? What can you say? Like how you gonna nitpick and try to discredit him and try to take it away from him?
And you look, I want to add this on to what TJ's saying. I think Izzy knows where I'm about to go with this. I'm so happy for Jalen Hurts because I remember watching him in the national championship, Alabama versus Georgia. He's struggling. They bring in Tua, and if you've played, you know, getting demoted or getting benched in the sport of football, it's a big blow to you. It's almost like a punch to the gut. I mean, Jalen just took it on the chin. Anytime Tua came to the sideline, who was the first person there to go over what just happened?
Well,
Jalen.
he had to.
Yeah.
He had to. Like he couldn't throw a fit.
But
He
on
couldn't
that
throw a
stage, TJ, on that stage is what I'm saying. The national championship, millions of people are watching you, and then months later, that same year, SEC championship. Tua gets hurt. Jalen comes in and saves the day. I mean, look, Jalen's done it the right way. And I mean, I'm glad to see him at this stage. If Mahomes didn't have the season we're having, Jalen will be my MVP.
Oh yeah. I think Jalen would be
going back to college, man. Look, let me tell you, man, Jalen Hurts is responsible for putting Alabama in 3 national championships, 3 straight national championships at that.
And they still benched him.
Izzy's been
in the SEC championship, and when he won the SEC championship, a lot of folks said maybe you should roll with Jalen Hurts against Clemson.
Izzy, the man went 25-2, and he still had to transfer to get some love and respect as a quarterback. 25-2,
and so his journey. I don't understand his journey. He took Oklahoma to the college football playoff and got smoked by Joe Burrow on LSU's historic.
Hey, Joe Burrow smoked a lot of people.
Ain't no shame in that though. Ain't no shame in that. I mean, Jalen Hurts put himself in the Heisman. I think he got invited to New York that year. So look, let me say this, man. Jalen Hurts, incredible story of perseverance. I think from the time he got to Oklahoma to the time to right now, he's literally gotten better every single season. I mean, every single season he's gotten better. He's increased his completion percent in the NFL. When he was a rookie, he went from 50-something% to 63% to now 68% completion percentage in the NFL. So Jalen Hurts is a remarkable talent. I think that in this Super Bowl, the Eagles raised the trophy, and it's not all going to be because of Jalen Hurts as it is going to be all on Pat Mahomes' shoulders, right? It's going to be because he's got a hell of a defense to back him up. He's got weapons to get the ball to in open space. He's got a big-time wide receiver. He's got a hell of an offensive line that can block for him. That's not going to let him get hit not too many times in the game. So I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. Pat Mahomes is definitely going to make – and Pat Mahomes, when you got Pat Mahomes, just like if you got 12, either 12, you got a chance.
I'll get out of here with the other 12. He's going to go –
I said either 12. I said either 12.
He's going to go into a dark retreat and retire. Okay. Who knows?
So yeah, I'm going with the Eagles to win this football game, but it doesn't all see. This is the first time it's like it doesn't all have to be on Jalen Hurts' shoulders. He has a hell of a team to back him up. Defense, offensive line, offensive weapons. This team has very little holes in it. Good run game, hell of a run game. When it's 4th and 1, oh, they're picking it up. Okay, they're on the goal line. Oh, they're picking it up. Okay, they're picking up the touchdown from a half yard out. There's no stopping that quarterback sneak. I'm going Philadelphia Eagles to raise the Lombardi.
I'm also taking the Philadelphia Eagles by a lot of the reasons that Izzy just said. They just have a better team collectively. Like, it's not going to be all on Jalen Hurts to win this game. The defense is stacked. The offensive line is stacked. Their offensive weapons is stacked. This is a better football team in the Philadelphia Eagles than it is in Kansas City, who have the best player in this particular game. But Philadelphia has the best overall team, and I think a team wins the Super Bowl, not a player. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles to raise the Vince Lombardi Trophy. TJ.
Right now, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Kansas City Chiefs won this. But like I said,
neither would I.
For selfish reasons, I want the Eagles to win. For my own personal selfish reasons, I want the Eagles to win.
And that's been our Super Bowl 57 preview and prediction show. This has been presented by Prime Sports World. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And if you do happen to miss us live, I've shared the link to our plethora of streaming options. You can watch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and, of course, iHeartRadio. And this show ran a little bit long, so that Rams off-season preview show will be moved to a later date. So keep an eye out for that content. Tomorrow is going to be our big NBA trade deadline show where we preview a bunch of the trades.
Izzy, you ain't got money on Denver and Minnesota tonight, do you?
Oh man, my parlay got busted. I picked Orlando at home and down the stretch, Tom Thibodeau things up, and he played the smart decision and did the foul game, and it was a 3-point game, and he kept putting Orlando on the line, so they lost. But I picked every other thing right. It's all good.
Of course you did.
I predicted those Bulls, though. What I tell you about the Bulls, though?
It's not over yet. You got to hold the court.
We're going to get into the NBA trade deadline tomorrow. We're going to have our fake trades that we think could happen on Thursday as the trade deadline gets fast approaching. Keep an eye out for that content. That goes live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be a really fun show. Looking forward to that content. I've been David Huffman. Right there's my co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins, the CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera, and from the dailyblitz.blog, Mr. Christian Simpson. What do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
We get disrespectful.
Heat, ladies and gentlemen.
We bring the heat, and we get a little disrespectful here at Prime Sports World.
Bringing it
like when we trashed that pizza in New York City.
You know what?
Ooh, shots fired.
David with a rare 3-point shot. Jeez.
I know you talking about that multi-ass grilled cheese you made.
I have not heard, but I heard y'all got some of the best brick fire pizza in Brooklyn. I gotta go try it out.
Yeah, we're all gonna be hanging out. We're all gonna come and hang out with you soon, Christian.
Look, man,
Christian will be back here on Monday when we break down the Super Bowl. So,
like I always tell people that are close to me, you guys are welcome anytime. Just let me know.
100%. You guys all have a good night. We will see you all tomorrow. Take it easy. Peace out.
Yep.